Duck, yeah. This is my first time using ackee and it turned out amazing. So much flavor in this dish, load of protein. I'm going to show you exactly how I made it. Let's roll up our sleeves and get started. Grab that chopping board and grab one large white onion or a couple smaller ones. I started off peeling it, but then I decided I don't want to be crying for the rest of the video, so I'm actually going to finish off chopping the onion up later. And for now, I'm going to grab and prepare the achocha. Usually in this recipe, people use little cherry tomatoes, but I don't really like tomatoes, and my mum gave me these the other week from her own garden, so I'm going to use them instead. They don't really taste much like tomatoes, but they're still going to give a nice little bit of texture and juiciness. They're not really very easy to purchase in the UK, but you can grow them and they're apparently really nice and easy to grow. The ones I got here, some of them are quite mature, so what we're going to do is we're going to slice them, take out some of the seeds from the bigger ones. If they're small like this one, then you can just slice them down into a couple pieces and they'll be fine. These ones still do have seeds in, but they're super soft and still delicious to eat. Alrighty, now they're all chopped up, let's stick them in a bowl for later. And we're going to grab a couple of these little mini peppers. Obviously you can use normal sized peppers or whatever you like. Cut it down the middle, get rid of any of those seeds or bits you don't want, then squash the pepper onto the chopping board and cut it into some nice little bite-sized slices. Cool, now stick those in with the achocha. Now we're going to grab ourselves some garlic, get rid of the skins, chop off the ends and dice them up nice and finely. And now it's time to grab the onion. Alright, we don't need that just little red knife. We're moving on to the big guns. Big Purple is going to do us proud. Cut that onion in half, and I recently learned how to cut onions the professional way, so I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So you want to do a load of slices into it, making sure you go all the way down to the bottom but not all the way to the back of the onion, and then just do another cut straight into the onion. To minimize the amount of time we've got all the onion juices in the air, we're going to do this process on both the onions first. And now just slice down like this, and they go into nice little diced cubes. Then turn the onion over, slice a couple times, turn it over, slice it, turn it to the side, slice it there, slice it there, slice it there, boom. All of the onion beautifully cut. Now I think we should actually turn the heat on, stick it on a medium-high heat. Let's grab ourselves a nice pan to make this, and we'll get some coconut oil as well, because that adds a lovely bit of flavor to it. And while we got the cupboard open, let's just grab our ackee and our black beans, which is going to be the protein for the meal. Oh, who's this? Now let's add in a dessert spoon of coconut oil. That should do the trick. And let's finish up dicing this onion with some pro chef skills. Now that's all chopped, add in a little square of onion to test the oil. That's starting to get some bubbles around it. We know it's ready to add the rest of the onion. So let's stick that all in. Then we're going to give it a good old stir and make sure the onions are all completely coated in the oil. Right, now we're going to open up the tin of ackee so it's all ready to go. As you can kind of see here, it's a little bit broken up on the top. Must have been jiggled around a little bit on its trip from Jamaica. I'm just going to grab some cumin and add that to the pan. I should have just added this when I first added the onions, but oh well, I forgot. I find that cumin just goes so nicely with onions. It's a great thing to fry them up with. Lovely, those are softening up nicely. Now let's grab the rest of our veg and stick that into the pan. Give it a little stir to get it all mixed in. Alrighty, now we need some protein. So let's open up a tin of black beans, strain out the liquid that's in there, add in some cold water, give it a shake around, and then just drain it out with your hands. Now stick them all in the pan and mix them in. Now we're going to grab some nice sea salt. If you've got a little lid for your salt like this, grind it all up and then add the salt in just like that. This means you can grind up the salt without getting all of the moisture from the pan going into the salt. In total, I think I added about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Okay, I've mixed in the salt and it's been about another couple of minutes. Now that all of the veg is pretty much cooked, I'm going to add in the ackee. It's very delicate, so I'm carefully turning over the veg to ensure I don't break it up too much. All we want to do is just warm through the ackee so the whole dish is nice and hot. Traditionally, people add in some Scotch bonnet pepper or a little 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper instead, but I chose to use some hot peri-peri sauce and it turned out even better than I expected. Okay, let's give it a little try. That tastes really good. Now the last thing that is not traditional but I decided to add, and I'm very happy I did, was some capers. Just drained them out with my hand and added a load of them to give some nice little pops of flavor throughout the whole dish. And this ended up being one of my favorite parts of it. And now all we need to do is mix in the capers and it's ready to serve up. There we go. A vegan, protein-filled ackee. This tasted delicious. I would definitely recommend trying this recipe. If you enjoyed, click that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.